Hey guys, Gus69 from Metal Open Mind Brazil. This is a contest entry for Gordon over at Black Nerd Hymns channel. I think his first 100 subscribers contest. So congratulations Gordon, job well done. So for this one he wants us to show and tell about our first and best concert experience. So here in Brazil, back in the 80s, we didn't have like a major artist coming to play here, but we did have Alice Cooper in '74, and only on '81 Queen played here in São Paulo, and after that in '83 we had Van Halen. But I was too young to attend those shows. In '83 I was 13, and Kiss, the Masked Quartet, they come to play a tour, the Creatures of the Night tour here in Brazil, and they played in a big stadium here in São Paulo called Morumbi, and I was living nearby this stadium, and I remember everybody talking about Kiss. I didn't know about the band, the music, or anything like that, but I remember seeing the music clip for the song Love It Loud, and in that night when they played here in São Paulo, I remember listening from my house, they singing that song, and also all the crowd singing together. So it was my first distant experience to a show. As I said, I was too young, but 2 years later, in '85, my parents and my family with some friends, we went to Rio de Janeiro to attend 3 days of the first major festival here in Brazil, Rock in Rio. I was already listening to hard rock and heavy metal, but my parents did not allow me to go to the heavy nights because nobody wanted to go with me, and by myself I couldn't go. I was 15 years old, so I missed Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Scorpions, Ozzy Osbourne, and Whitesnake, the 5 main bands that I wanted to see, but I couldn't go by myself. So as I said, I went to 3 days of the festival, to softer days, but I did see Queen with Freddie Mercury, and this was for me the greatest experience in Rock in Rio, and also my first great experience between a crowd estimated about 100,000 people there or more. So that show was amazing. Of course, I saw other artists like Yes, Rod Stewart, a couple new wave bands like B-52 and Nina Hagen, and some other Brazilian artists. But for me, this was memorable, and this is actually the DVD for that concert that night. So I was watching last week, and I tried to show this because I was there. So I consider this as my very first big experience in a festival. So, but I started listening to heavy metal, of course, and a year later I attended the first time Venom played here in Brazil, '86. This is their debut, but they were promoting At War with Satan album. And the opening act was Exciter, promoting this album, unveiling The Wicked. And we had also a Brazilian band called Vulcano. They are still active, by the way. But Exciter still the night for me. Venom was okay. In terms of musicianship, I prefer much more Exciter, and to see a drummer playing fast and singing and with high notes screaming was something unique for me back that time. So this was really the first metal show that I attended. So Queen was my first rock experience, and Venom with Exciter was my first metal gig. The best concert have to be Tool, because they are one of my favorite bands of all time. I was living in Portugal when Ozfest, they were touring with Ozfest, and they played in Lisbon, and I was there. It was funny because the main act was supposed to be Ozzy Osbourne, but he didn't show up. I think the Queen from England, she invited him to Jubileo festivities or something like that, and one day before the concert he announced that he wasn't going to play, and Tool was the main act on that bill. Of course, there was other bands. There was a great band from Portugal, Ramp. We had a couple nu metal bands like Kitty, Drowning Pool, Il Ninho, and we had also Slayer. The first time I saw Slayer live. But for me, Tool was an amazing experience, not only by their music, but all the visuals, their stage presence, which is kind of questionable because they don't move a lot, but they play much. So I think compensates for me, and all the visuals was an amazing, and they were promoting this album from 2001, Lateralos. So my best concert experience was Ozfest 2002, and I went to a lot of shows. Here are some of them that I attended in Portugal, here in Brazil, since I came back here to live here from the past 11 years. I saw a lot of concerts, so I don't know exactly how many, but probably, because when you attend festivals, you see a lot of bands at the same time or at the same night. But if I would count every show that I attended, probably around 400 in my 36 years of attending shows. So to love them and love that show. So that's my entry. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of my concerts experience. You have time to, not much time, but you can do an entry for this contest until the end of this month. So go there, check Gordon's channel, subscribe, and make an entry too. So good luck to everyone, and see you next time.